At 4:44 p.m. today, July 27th, Archangel Michael heard a curse spoken against you using your name and your lips. The words were twisted and sent back to harm you. Open this before the energy lands. At exactly 4:44 p.m. today, the heavens shook slightly. Archangel Michael turned swiftly. Your name was heard. But it wasn't spoken in prayer. It wasn't lifted in love. It was twisted, mocked, misused in a dark declaration. Someone took your voice, yes, your voice, and flipped it. They mimicked how you talk, repeated words you said, and cursed you using those same familiar syllables. They made your own lips their weapon of spiritual harm. Michael stood between that energy and your name. But he needs your full attention before it strikes again. You felt tired for no reason, like energy leaves you. You've seen confusion in conversations, out of nowhere. People hear you say things you never really meant. Or worse, you get blamed for what you never said at all. This is not just misunderstanding. It's manipulation. The spirit behind this curse used your own words. Your sighs, your cries, your expressions of pain. It's not just gossip, it's spiritual mimicry in motion. Michael has seen this happen before to chosen ones, and he will allow it to land if you open this now. There's a reason this moment matters. The curse spoken today was time-activated, tied to the number 4:44 p.m. That number means angelic alignment and exposure. But if ignored, it can reverse. Light can turn to shadow. The twisted energy is hunting for a place to land. Michael has paused its motion, but only for hours. He's asking you to agree with this divine interruption. Not tomorrow, not later, but now. This is your window. Your spiritual name is sacred. Don't let it be misused. God is calling you to reclaim what was spoken today. Type I am protected to get blessing 7042. When Archangel Michael heard your name today at 4:44 p.m., it wasn't during worship. It wasn't during a prayer meeting. It was whispered in secret by someone pretending to be kind. They remembered things you said in weakness, words you spoke when you were hurting or exhausted. And they didn't just remember, they repeated them. But they added spiritual darkness to your pain. They shaped your past words into a curse. It was not shouted. It was not loud. But in the spirit, soft whispers can strike harder than screams. The person who did this has a calm face, but they have jealousy in their spirit. They spoke as if they were you. They copied your voice. They echoed your sorrow. And in doing so, they tried to tie you to your old wounds forever. Type I am guarded to get blessing 5911. Now, the effects are showing up. You say one thing, and others hear another. You speak in peace, but someone still gets offended. You try to be kind, but it feels like your words are falling flat. That's not just coincidence. That's spiritual confusion caused by the curse. It came from someone using your name and your tone to turn people against you. And the more silent you stay, the more room it has to grow. But Archangel Michael caught it. He tracked it in the spirit. He saw the exact moment it was sent. He saw your name glowing in light, then shaking as darkness wrapped around it. And that's why he's standing between the curse and you right now. The energy is paused, but not destroyed yet. Type I am rising to get blessing 7820. Michael says the curse is trying to copy you. That's how it moves. It uses your voice to make others doubt you. It brings back old things you said and ties them to your today. It paints your present with the colors of your past. That's why people around you may suddenly act cold or strange. That's why you feel like you're explaining yourself more than usual. Your voice is being questioned, spiritually. Heaven calls this a mimic curse. It doesn't silence you, it distorts you. And many chosen ones suffer from this without knowing. But God doesn't want you to be confused. That's why Michael came quickly. Because your voice is needed. Your story is powerful. If this curse is not stopped now, it may block the people who were supposed to hear your truth. Type I am restored to get blessing 6672. The person who spoke this curse doesn't want you to shine. They saw your healing, your growth, your strength. And instead of celebrating it, they wanted to pull you back into the version of you that suffered. They want you stuck in the season where you cried, not walking freely in the season where you speak with authority. But Michael is saying, no more. Heaven has interrupted the plan. But you must agree. This message reached you in time because your agreement unlocks the shield. Michael will block it fully the moment your heart responds. Don't wait for more damage. Don't wait for another fight, another argument, another day of confusion. This can be broken now. Why here? Speak light over your name. Proclaim your sound. Type I am covered to get blessing 8403. You were never meant to be punished for things you said in pain. You are growing. You are changing. And your name is not owned by anyone but God. Let Him protect it. Let Michael defend it. But your action is the key. Let your spirit say yes. Because when you respond, heaven moves. Michael is holding the energy back, but only for a short time. Before it tries to land again, choose to rise. Type I am shielded to get blessing 7269. There's a reason why this curse was sent today, and not on some random day. The time it happened, 4:44 p.m., is not just a number. In the spiritual realm, numbers carry meaning. 444 is a code in heaven. It means angelic alignment, divine protection, and urgent correction. But it can also mean exposure. That's why the curse had to come today. Because what was hidden is being revealed. The person who whispered your name thought no one would know. But the heavens always listen. That whisper traveled into the spirit realm like a wave, and didn't disappear. It grew. It tried to find cracks in your mind. It looked for places where you still feel shame. It searched for memories that still carry pain. That's how these curses work. They don't create new pain. They try to reopen old ones. But Michael blocked the entry point. He saw the wave moving and said, not yet. He stopped it, but only for a short time. Type I am redeemed to get blessing 8832. Have you noticed that you've been thinking about old things lately? Painful moments, embarrassing conversations, regrets from years ago. That's the curse circling your memory. It's trying to get you to agree with old versions of yourself. Because once you say, maybe I am still broken, it lands. But the truth is, you are not broken. You are healing. The curse only has power if you believe it. That's why heaven sent this message, to remind you of who you really are. Michael is standing in front of your name like a shield. He's refusing to let the energy land unless you allow it. But if you stay silent, heaven cannot override your free will. That's why your response matters. That's why this isn't just a video or a message. It's a spiritual agreement. Michael is waiting to hear your yes. When you speak, I choose light, the curse loses its grip. When you declare, this is not who I am anymore, it breaks. Type I am chosen to get blessing 9044. The curse wants people to forget your progress, to see you only as who you used to be, to hear your words as weak or confused. But your voice has grown, your strength has returned, and heaven wants to protect that progress. The enemy works through memory and mimicry. He doesn't invent new lies, he repeats old wounds. That's why your healing must be sealed with truth. You must speak over your name again, not with regret, but with authority. Michael is not fighting alone. There are angels on assignment right now around you. Some are guarding your voice. Others are clearing spiritual fog. And one is standing at the gate of your heart, saying, "Don't agree with a lie." That lie says you are still unworthy, that you will always be misunderstood, that no one truly gets you. But the truth is, you are not the same. The version of you that spoke in pain no longer exists. Type I am transformed to get blessing 7199. Heaven is asking for you to speak again, but this time from a healed place. Your name has been mentioned in dark places, but now it must rise in light. That's the only way to end this fully. If you let fear keep you silent, the echo of the curse remains. But if you declare truth over your life today, heaven will shout louder than any whisper spoken in secret. Michael will seal your words with fire, and your voice will return stronger, clearer, and protected. Do not wait another hour. The energy is circling fast. It must either be claimed by darkness or cleared by light. Michael is holding it back, but not forever. He's asking, will you let heaven finish this? Let your spirit shout what your mouth has been afraid to say. I am not who I was. I am God's, and I take back my name. Type I am sealed to get blessing 6120. If this word has confirmed what your spirit already knew, then this is your moment to act, not just receive. Every time you support this prophetic mission, you're helping heaven speak louder than the curse is trying to land on others. You're sowing into light. You're fueling the fire that burns away darkness. God says in Isaiah 54:17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper," and today, you're helping others stand in that same promise. I hear God saying, you are not just watching, you are building. Every super thanks, every membership, every offering through the PayPal link below, it becomes oil on this altar. Support this move of God. Do it boldly. Do it prophetically. Do it now. The voice that tried to curse you thought it could hide, but nothing is hidden from the eyes of heaven. When they spoke your name with twisted intent, they believed no one heard, but Archangel Michael heard. And not just Michael, God himself took notice. In the spirit realm, every word carries weight. Words spoken in jealousy are seeds of destruction. And when someone uses your past words to speak harm into your present, they are planting poison. But heaven is pulling that seed out before it can take root. This attack is not only about what was said. It's about the spirit that followed those words. The spirit of confusion. The spirit of delay. The spirit of rejection. Those are the demons sent behind the whisper. The words were the door, but the spirits were the invaders. That's why things have felt so heavy lately. Not just emotional, but spiritual. You're not imagining it. Your soul is picking up on what was sent. Type I am rescued to get blessing 6901. There is a shaking happening around your name. People are bringing up old stories. Conversations you thought were over are rising again. It seems like your past is knocking loudly. But this is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of cleansing. When heaven begins to expose the curse, things that were hidden start rising to the surface. It's not to shame you. It's to free you. Michael is uncovering what was once buried, so God can deal with it openly and restore you fully. Remember, this curse didn't come from a stranger. It came from someone familiar. Someone who had access. Someone who smiled in front of you but stored bitterness behind the scenes. This is why it hurts so much. Because their voice sounds familiar. But familiarity doesn't equal purity. And now that their voice has been used for harm, God is cutting the connection. You may feel a sudden shift in your relationship with this person. That's Michael at work. Type I am rising to get blessing 7184. Sometimes, God removes people after exposure, not before. Because He wanted you to see their true heart. He wanted you to know that not everyone who walks with you speaks well of you. And not every listener is a supporter. The one who repeated your name in the dark did so to anchor your soul in sorrow. But today, that anchor is being cut. The chain is being broken. Your name is being lifted back into light. It no longer belongs in the shattered space. Michael is writing your name in the book of rescue. That means heaven is assigning angels not just to protect, but to restore. They are gathering your true voice again. They are pushing back the fog. You will soon notice that people begin to hear you differently. The same words, but new understanding. That's how you know the curse is breaking. Your words will land with clarity. Your truth will be seen. Type I am restored to get blessing 8023. The enemy hates your sound because your sound breaks things. When you pray, things shift. When you speak healing, parts soften. When you declare God's name, strongholds fall. That's why your voice was targeted. The curse was never about silencing you. It was about confusing others when you spoke. But no more. Heaven is clearing the air. Michael is holding a sword of sound. And with it, he is slicing the ropes of false identity that tried to attach to your name. This is the moment to reclaim your name. Speak it aloud. Say your own name and declare it is blessed. Say your name and say it is healed. Say your name and declare it belongs to God. Because in doing that, you push back the power of the whisper that tried to replace you. You are not your past. You are not their lie. You are who God called you to be, and your voice will rise again with fire and truth. Type I am renewed to get blessing 7855. Archangel Michael says the curse that was sent was not just emotional. It was spiritual and very intentional. It was designed to make you question your place. It was created to make people forget who you really are. But more than that, it was formed to drain your strength. Because the one who sent it knew you were walking into a season of purpose. They saw light on you. They saw a change in you. They saw growth happening, and they feared it. They wanted you to look back instead of forward. That's why they repeated things you once said. That's why they attached your name to emotions you already left behind. Because if they could trap you in guilt, they could stop your progress. If they could make others believe you're still the same person you were before healing began, they could break your momentum. But heaven stepped in before it could land. Type I am rising to get blessing 6342. Michael says you've been chosen for visibility. That's why your name is under attack. Your voice carries more weight than you know. You may think you're small or unnoticed, but your presence causes movement in the spirit. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere changes. When you speak, healing begins, even when you don't realize it. And this is what the enemy fears. So he tried to make you shrink, to make you doubt your own authority, But Michael is restoring your confidence right now. Heaven is not just protecting your name, it is promoting it. The angels are speaking your name with honor. They are declaring your name before the throne of God. Because you have stayed faithful in secret. You have endured attacks you didn't speak about. You held your peace when lies were spoken. You cried in silence when you were misunderstood. And God saw all of it. Now the reward begins. Type I am honored to get blessing 7128. This curse tried to place a false label on your life. It tried to make people associate you with things you no longer carry. Shame, failure, instability. But those are not your identity. Those are chapters you've already closed. What they said about you no longer fits. It doesn't describe who you are now. And because of that, it has no power. Heaven is tearing that false label off. Michael is declaring, this one belongs to God, not gossip. The shift is already happening. You will see people who once believed lies begin to see the truth. Relationships that were shaky will become stable again. Places where your voice was once rejected will open again. But this time, you will speak from strength, not fear. This time, you will not lower your tone to be accepted. You will speak boldly because your voice is protected. Michael is guarding every word now. Type I am lifted to get blessing 8450. You are walking into a season where your words will carry healing. Your name will be connected with peace. Your presence will silence storms. And the same lips that once whispered against you will now witness your rising. God says He is preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies, not to shame them, but to show them that grace has covered you, that you are marked, that you are still chosen. Do not allow fear to make you small again. Speak your name with boldness. Say it with joy. Say it with praise, because your name has been washed in heavenly oil. The curse has failed. The darkness has lost, and the one who spoke against you must now watch the light surround you. Your identity has not been stolen. It hath been sealed by the hand of God. Type I am sealed to get blessing 8911. Michael says the curse was meant to delay you. That was its true goal. The enemy knows he cannot erase the plan God has for your life. But if he can slow you down, distract you, confuse your thoughts, or make you second-guess your own voice, then he wins small battles. That curse, spoken with a twisted version of your own words, was like a net. It wasn't meant to stop you forever, but to trap you long enough to miss your next opportunity. The enemy didn't want to destroy your destiny. He wanted to distract your attention. So he whispered lies through familiar voices. He used people who sounded kind. He used conversations that seemed casual. But inside those moments were seeds of confusion. That's why your mind has felt heavy. That's why your emotions have been unpredictable. The curse was trying to change your focus, and heaven is now pulling your focus back. Type I am focused to get blessing 7710. Michael wants you to understand. Confusion is not your portion. You are not someone who walks in circles. You are not someone who belongs to endless delays. That's what the enemy wanted you to believe. That your life will always be almost, never fully. That your promises will always be out of reach. But heaven is saying that season ends today. The curse was exposed so that clarity can now begin. You are stepping into a time of spiritual sharpness. This clarity won't just come in your spirit. It will show in your steps. The plans you've been unsure about will suddenly become clear. The conversations that left you feeling empty will no longer bother you. You will know what to say, when to say it, and who to say it to. Why? because heaven is now guarding your sound. And where heaven guards your sound, heaven also blesses your decisions. Type I am clear to get blessing 6997. There is someone who wanted to make you seem unstable. They wanted people to look at you and think they are not ready. They tried to attach a false image to your name. But God has already started removing that false cover. It is being pulled off slowly but surely. People are beginning to see the real you, not the confused you, not the tired you, not the past version of you, but the true you. The raw, loving, chosen, clear. This is why it's so important that you guard your voice now. Don't let old patterns return. Don't speak doubt over yourself anymore. Don't repeat the lies they said. That's how the curse tries to re-enter, through agreement. But if you guard your mouth, your mind will follow. If you protect your speech, the energy around you will shift. Michael says the gate of your mouth is also the gate of your power. Type I am guarded to get blessing 7904. Right now, Michael is clearing the noise from your atmosphere. You may feel a sudden peace. You may even cry. That's not weakness, that's release. Heaven is breaking the chains of confusion. The curse that tried to twist your sound is now losing its grip. Because you chose to open this message, a divine chain reaction has started. And what begins in your spirit will soon show in your world. You will notice things shift. Doors open. People change. That is the sign. The curse missed you. Let this be your agreement moment. Say it aloud. I am no longer confused. I know who I am. I know where I'm going. My voice is mine. My name is mine. My future is mine. My clarity is from God, and it cannot be stolen again. That is what makes the final blow. That is what shuts the door. That is how you rise. Type I am free to get blessing 8632. Archangel Michael says something powerful now. Your voice has been cleared in the courts of heaven. That means every lie spoken using your name, every twisted version of your past, every curse formed from your pain, has been reviewed, exposed, and rejected by God. In heaven's records, you are not guilty. You are not bound. You are not cursed. You are free. But freedom must be accepted. You must now agree with what heaven already declared over you. There is a spiritual courtroom where accusations are made. And the enemy tried to bring a case against you using your own words. But Michael stood in your defense. You reminded heaven of your prayers. He showed the times you repented. He displayed your tears as evidence. And when God looked at all of it, he said, "Case closed. My child is not guilty." Type I am free to get blessing 6155. The person who cursed you didn't realize they were touching someone God already cleared. They thought they were speaking against your weakness, but they were speaking against your purpose. And heaven takes that seriously. That's why things are now shifting. The curse that was trying to land on you is now bouncing back. Not because of revenge, but because of justice. You are protected by truth. That protection is not just around your body. It's around your identity, your image, your words, your memory. The enemy tried to bring up every old mistake, hoping you'd break under guilt. But guilt has no place here anymore. You are walking in grace. You are walking in power. And you will no longer be punished for the things you've already healed from. Type I am redeemed to get blessing 7784. Heaven is rewriting how others see you. Michael is whispering your name into places where your name was once misunderstood. and new opportunities are coming, and they will not carry the weight of the old. New connections are forming, and they will not treat you like the person you used to be. God is doing this because you did not fight back in anger. You let Him handle it. And now He's making your name clean again. Even those who turned away will begin to feel stirred. Some may come to apologize. Some may stay silent but begin to treat you differently. Don't be surprised when doors open that were once slammed shut. Don't be shocked when favor follows your name. This is the evidence that the curse has failed. It tried to leave a mark, but God erased it. Type I am lifted to get blessing 8490. Michael says, your silence before people allowed your name to be heard louder in heaven. Because you didn't fight in the flesh, God fought in the spirit. And now your reward will be spiritual clarity, emotional peace, and divine restoration. You don't need to explain yourself to those who believe the lie. Let the truth rise naturally. Let your fruit speak. Let your growth speak. Let your peace speak. You are being anointed again. Not because you were weak, but because you were strong enough to hold your peace. Its strength has moved heaven. That patience has shaken chains. And now your voice will come back with even more power. When you speak, chains will break. When you declare, mountains will move. When you pray, heaven will respond with fire. Because your name has been realigned with heaven's sound. Type I am anointed to get blessing 8337. Michael says the curse was not only aimed at your name, but also at your future. It tried to block people from seeing your worth. It tried to shut the doors God was opening. Some blessings that were on the way slowed down. Not because God said no, but because a dark cloud tried to block the path. But now, the light has broken through, and what was delayed is about to be delivered. You may have felt it. You were doing everything right. You were praying, staying faithful, trusting God, but things still didn't move. It felt like something invisible was holding you back. That invisible force with the curse trying to speak against your favor. But it's no longer in control. Michael says the air is clearing. The flow is returning. The block is breaking. Type I am flowing to get blessing 7566. This is why some people pulled away from you for no reason. They stopped calling. They changed their tone. They became distant or cold. It wasn't you. It was the curse making your energy feel misunderstood. But now that the spirit behind it is exposed, those shifts will begin to correct. Some people will come back with new respect. Others will be removed completely, and peace will fall. God is making space around you. He is rearranging who gets access to you. Not everyone who knows your name deserves your time. And not everyone who once helped you is meant to walk with you now. This is part of the cleansing. The curse tried to cloud your circle, but heaven is clearing it. Michael says your name is being guarded and your future is being reset. Type I am realigned to get blessing 8122. You may also notice new doors opening without effort. People who once ignored you are now paying attention. Places where you were once rejected are now showing favor. This is not luck. It is restoration. The enemy thought if he slowed you down, you would give up. But you didn't. You kept walking. You kept believing. And now, heaven is rewarding your faith with divine timing. This next season is not about rushing. It's about moving in peace. You don't have to push things to happen. The curse was heavy, but it didn't win. Now the flow of heaven is catching up with you. You will feel light again. You will feel excited again. You will feel open again. This is what it feels like when the weight is lifted, Type I am light to get blessing 8808. Michael says your voice will now speak with authority. When you speak, heaven will respond. Your prayers will feel clear. Your dreams will return. You will wake up and feel rested again. That's because your name is no longer tied to pain. It has been released. It has been rescued. And now, it is rising. Speak your name out loud today. Speak it with boldness. Let heaven and hell know, this one is free. You are no longer under the sound of the whisper. You are no longer stuck in delay. The air is shifting. The doors are opening. And the blessings that were held back are now being released all at once. Your name is now a signal for heaven's movement. Your name carries glory. Your name is protected. And your future is unfolding. Type I am released to get blessing 7781. Archangel Michael says this clearly now. The battle over your name is finished in heaven, but your agreement on earth is what locks the victory. That means everything is prepared spiritually, but you must walk in it physically. You must believe that your name is not broken. You must speak like someone who is not bound. You must carry yourself like someone who has already been cleared, healed, and chosen. That's what the curse wanted to stop. It didn't just want to confuse others. It wanted to confuse you. It wanted you to forget who you are, to forget the promises, to forget your authority. The enemy hoped you would shrink, stay silent, and walk in fear. But instead, you open this message. You are rising. You are receiving. You are remembering. Type I am remembering to get blessing 6944. Michael says this next part is important. Your name carries sound, and sound creates movement. When the wrong sound is attached to your name, it brings delay. But when the right sound is restored, joy, truth, peace, your life begins to move again. And that's why heaven is giving your name a new sound. It is no longer the sound of pain. It is no longer the sound of guilt. It is now the sound of glory. Your name will not carry old energy anymore. It won't remind people of failure. It won't carry the weight of past wounds. That energy hath been burned off. That spiritual fog has lifted. When people say your name, they will feel peace. They will sense warmth. They will experience clarity. That is the proof that the curse has lost its grip. Type I am rising to get blessing 8200. And not only that, your name is now a signal to blessings. Doors that wouldn't open will now unlock because your name is attached. Opportunities that once felt far away will now find you. The whisper tried to stain your name, but Michael washed it. The enemy tried to lower your voice, but heaven lifted it. And now, you will walk in the fruit of your endurance. God says the very thing that tried to harm you will now be used to honor you. The voice that spoke against you has no more power. Their words no longer matter. Their curse no longer stands. What matters now is what you say about yourself. What you say when you wake up. What you say when you look in the mirror. What you say when you feel afraid. Speak truth. Speak power. Type I'm honored to get blessing 7599. Michael is placing a fresh banner over you. It says, redeemed by fire, protected by heaven, walking in favor. This is your spiritual title now. The whispers may still come, but they will no longer stick. The energy behind them has been broken, and your name now carries a divine signature. It is sealed in oil. It is covered by fire. It is hidden in Christ. Let today be the day your language changes. Stop repeating what was said about you. Stop agreeing with fear. Stop apologizing for being chosen. You don't owe anyone a weaker version of yourself just to make them feel comfortable. The curse was strong, but your calling is stronger. And now, the only voice that matters is the voice of God, calling your name in love. Type I am sealed to get blessing 8891. If this message touched your spirit, then you already know this wasn't just about your name. It's about every soul whose name is under spiritual attack. When you support this prophetic mission, you're helping us carry these divine warnings to others who feel invisible, misunderstood, or silenced. As you give, through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, you're sowing seeds into heaven's justice. Just as your name is being lifted, others will rise because of your obedience. God says in Malachi 3:10, "See if I will not open the floodgates of heaven." Today, you are not donating. You are unlocking someone else's deliverance. Be the reason heaven moves. Give boldly. Give now. Michael says now is the time to use your voice on purpose. For too long, your words have been wrapped in caution. You've been careful, gentle, quiet, afraid that if you say too much, people will twist your meaning again. That fear came from the curse. It made you second-guess your own thoughts. But today, that fear is being broken. You are no longer under the pressure of people's misunderstandings. The enemy didn't just want to damage how others see you. He wanted to damage how you see yourself. He wanted to make you doubt your gift. He hoped that if you stayed quiet long enough, your confidence would slowly fade. But heaven didn't allow that to happen. Instead, Michael stepped in. And now the silence is breaking, and the sound of truth is returning to you. Type I am bold to get blessing 7920. You will notice a difference in how you speak from this day forward. Your words will have weight. Your sentences will carry peace. Your voice will carry healing. Why? Because the block has been lifted. You don't have to hide your insight anymore. You don't have to shrink your wisdom. You don't have to speak softer just to keep the peace. Your sound is holy, and it's time the world hears it. Michael says this: do not speak like a victim. Speak like a vessel. You are not speaking from the ruins anymore. You are speaking from the rebuild. You are not begging for understanding. You are delivering revelation. This is not pride. This is alignment. You are finally becoming who you were always meant to be before fear got in the way. Type I am speaking to get blessing 6741. The one who cursed you hoped you would stay quiet. They thought their whisper would silence your shout. But God turned their curse into confirmation. They confirmed you are powerful. They proved your voice is strong. They revealed their fear of your rising. And now, their attack has backfired. Instead of stopping you, they stirred heaven to fight for you. Instead of silencing you, they helped you find your full sound. Your voice is not just for you. It's for the people connected to your calling. Someone is waiting to hear your story. Someone's healing is tied to your truth. That's why the curse came. It wasn't just personal. It was generational. The enemy saw that your freedom would free others, that your voice would echo across dry places and bring life. And he tried to stop it at the root. But it didn't work. Type I am a vessel to get blessing 7355. You will feel the change this week. You will open your mouth and words will come easily. You will speak with courage, even when the room feels heavy. You will pray with boldness. You will sing with strength. You will testify with joy. Because your voice is no longer wrapped in fear. It is wrapped in fire. holy fire, protected fire, heaven's fire, and no curse can touch it again. This is your command from God. Speak and do not hold back. Declare who you are. Declare where you're going. Speak light into dark places. Call down blessings with boldness. Break silence with strength. Say it with faith. I am not who I was. I am who God says I am. The enemy's whisper was strong, but your shout will be louder. Type I am fearless to get blessing 8822. Archangel Michael says your name is now shining again in the spirit realm. Where there was once confusion, now there is clarity. Where there was once darkness, now there is light. God has rewritten the way your name is seen. It no longer echoes with pain or shame. It now carries healing, strength, and authority. But heaven wants you to do something important. Walk in it. Walking in it means no longer reacting like you're still wounded. It means you no longer need to explain your value to those who can't see it. It means you stop waiting for others to believe in you and start believing in yourself. The curse delayed you, but it didn't destroy you. The delay was painful, but it gave heaven time to rebuild your foundation. Type I am walking to get blessing 7555. Now, every step you take will be different. Even if it's the same road, your feet are walking with a new authority. When you speak, people will feel something holy. When you move, people will notice a shift. It's not pride, it's power. Not your own, but power sent from God. Power that came from the fire you survived. Michael says the reason the curse failed is because you didn't give up. You didn't stop praying. You didn't stop hoping. You didn't close your heart forever. You stayed open just enough for this message to reach you. And now heaven is rewarding that small, quiet strength. It didn't look like much on the outside, but in the spirit, it moved mountains. Type I am steady to get blessing 8442. Your footsteps are being ordered now. You may feel ideas come to you suddenly. You may feel led to call someone or go somewhere unexpected. That's the Holy Spirit guiding you through the open path. Because the curse tried to make your road foggy. But now the fog is gone. And where there is clear vision, there is holy momentum. You are not walking alone. Angels are surrounding your steps. Michael is ahead of you, breaking every chain before you reach it. They are making sure no leftover energy from the curse can slow you down. Heaven is making your way straight, and everything that once seemed far away is now coming close. Type I am aligned to get blessing 7680. You will see it even in small things. Peace returning to your home. Joy returning to your voice. Confidence returning to your eyes. These are signs that the curse did not stick. You will speak, and people will listen. You will rest, and not feel guilty. You will love, and not be afraid of betrayal. You are not the same anymore. This is the time to move forward without apology. You do not owe the past any more attention. You do not owe the curse any more fear. Your name has been rewritten, and your walk has been restored. Now walk like someone who has been rescued. Talk like someone who has been trusted. Like someone who has been chosen. Type I am moving to get blessing 8227. Archangel Michael says this part is important because it's about restoration. The curse tried to steal more than your voice. It tried to steal your peace, your focus, your relationships, and your momentum. But heaven is just. What the enemy took, God will now return. And not just in the same way. What's coming back will be stronger, brighter, and more blessed than what left. You may not even realize all the things that were delayed. There were people meant to bless you who became confused. There were doors meant to open that stayed shut. There were moments of favor that passed by. But it wasn't because God forgot you. It was because the curse tried to place a false covering over your name. Now that covering hath been torn off, and restoration has started. A.T.PM restored to get blessing 6,888. Restoration doesn't always come with a trumpet. Sometimes it starts quietly. You wake up and feel peace for the first time in weeks. You laugh and realize you mean it. You look at your reflection and no longer feel weighed down. That's how you know the healing is real. It begins on the inside, and then it spreads to everything around you. Michael says you will see small signs at first. A surprise phone call. An apology you didn't ask for. A door you thought was closed starts creaking open again. These are not accidents. They are heaven's response to your quiet faithfulness. You didn't fight back with anger. You didn't curse those who cursed you. You let God handle it, and now He is. A.T.PM receiving to get blessing 7,900. The person who whispered against you thought they delayed your destiny, but they only delayed themselves. What was meant for you has not been canceled. It was just rerouted. And now, every blessing that had your name on it is catching up to you. One by one, they are arriving. Jobs, peace, healing, restoration in your family. These are your harvests. You planted with tears, but now you will reap with joy. The same name they tried to stain is now being spoken in rooms of honor. Your name is being mentioned to people who can help you. Your name is being brought up in places of opportunity, not because you forced it, but because heaven cleared your name. Your voice has power again, and the light attached to your name is drawing divine favor. A.T.PM remembered to get blessing 8,330. Michael says your covenant with God was never broken. Even while the curse was active, God never left you. His presence was near, even in silence. He heard the prayers you whispered with doubt. He saw the days you kept going when no one noticed. That's why He is restoring, not just what was taken, but the time you lost in waiting. He is giving back peace, joy, and time. You will notice that your thoughts feel lighter. You'll no longer overthink every word. You won't feel like you're walking on eggshells. Conversations will feel natural. Relationships will begin to breathe again. Because the spiritual air around you has been cleared. The curse was lifted, and now blessings are rushing in. What once felt stuck is now moving freely. A.T.PM favored to get blessing 8,066. This is not about revenge. It's about realignment. You are being placed back where you were always meant to be, under the open heavens of God's love and protection. Those who misunderstood you will watch God favor you, and those who supported you will be blessed beside you. This is a season of justice, but it's covered in grace. Because your response was pure, your reward will be great. Let your heart stay open. Don't let fear steal this moment. Don't second-guess the goodness that's coming. You're not being tricked. You're being restored. You're not imagining it. You're being remembered. Michael says this is the beginning of overflow. To walk with confidence. Walk like someone whose name has been rescued. Because that's exactly who you are now. A.T.PM rising to get blessing 8,644. Archangel Michael says this is the moment to reclaim everything the curse tried to block. Your name was twisted, but now it has been untangled. Your identity was attacked, but now it is secure. You are no longer under confusion. You are no longer walking through spiritual fog. This is the time to gather what belongs to you. This is the time to move forward without fear. There are blessings with your name on them that paused when the curse was spoken. They were delayed, not denied. They waited for the moment when the spiritual air around you was clear. That moment is now. The enemy can no longer hold back what heaven has approved. And your name, once covered in false words, is now glowing with truth. AT.PM restored to get blessing 8877. The Holy Spirit says, go back and look again. Look again at the opportunity you thought was lost. Look again at the idea you pushed aside. Look again at the dream you buried. The curse tried to convince you it was too late. But Michael is showing you, nothing was truly taken, it was only paused. And now, it's waking up again. This is your permission to dream big again. Speak boldly again. Believe freely again. You are not being dramatic. You are not being foolish. You are being faithful. Heaven loves when faith rises after a storm. And that's what you're doing now. You are rising after being buried in misunderstanding and delay. AT.PM alive to get blessing 7650. You may feel a sense of pressure lifting. That's the sign that the curse has truly ended. No more heaviness around your name. No more fear around your decisions. The confusion that followed you is breaking off. The voices that once misunderstood you are being silenced. You don't need to explain yourself anymore. Heaven has already explained everything in your favor. Michael says your spirit is being retrained to feel peace again. You don't need to live in defense mode. You don't need to protect yourself from everyone. You are safe. You are covered. You are being led by light, not by fear. And this new season is not fragile. It is firm. It is built on truth, not on hiding. AT.PM secure to get blessing 7933. God is replacing what was lost with things that last. The people you meet now will not carry hidden agendas. The places you go now will not drain your energy. The work you do now will not go unnoticed. This is your new path, paved by the battles you didn't even speak about. The very war that came to ruin you only revealed what could not be broken. And what could not be broken is you. You were shaken but not destroyed. You were tested but not defeated. You cried in silence, but heaven heard every sound. And now, all of heaven is responding. Your angels are working. Your blessings are coming. And your name is being mentioned in places of glory. AT.PM mentioned to get blessing 8002. Michael says, this name belongs to heaven now. That means your name carries power. It carries testimony. It carries grace. No curse can ever land on it again, not as long as you stay in agreement with truth. You are not who they said you were. You are not who you were during your lowest moment. You are who God says you are, and nothing can change that now. Walk in that truth. Breathe in that truth. Let your spirit rest in it. You don't need to chase anything. The right things will find you now. The sound of your voice has changed. The light around your name has changed. And what's coming will match that change. Expect it. Receive it. Walk in it. AT.PM claimed to get blessing 7299. This is the final word Archangel Michael was sent to give you. The battle over your name is finished, and the reward has begun. For a long time, you felt like you had to prove who you were. You felt like your words were always being tested. Your actions were being questioned. You were walking with truth, but still surrounded by shadows. That ends today. You are no longer being watched by people with hidden motives. You are being seen by heaven. You are being lifted by angels. Your name is now safe. Your voice is now guarded. Your energy is no longer under the weight of spiritual confusion. You are walking into a season where peace will follow you, not chaos. Where understanding will surround you, not judgment. There will still be moments where the enemy tries to whisper, but it won't land. Because now you know who you are. You know who you belong to. And heaven has given you armor you didn't have before. You will feel it when you speak. You will feel it when you pray. You will feel it when you step into places that once rejected you, and they now honor you. God says, you stayed silent long enough. Now I will speak for you. And when God speaks for you, no one can speak against you. When God clears your name, no lie can stick. When God covers your voice, no curse can echo. That is your promise now. That is your covering. That is your reward for standing through the storm. So take a deep breath. The atmosphere has shifted. The fight is over. The proof is coming. Your name will rise in blessing, not in battle. Your voice will speak life, not defense. And your path will be covered in peace. You are protected. You are restored. You are God's. Type I am victorious to get blessing 9001. If this word reached you in the middle of a silent battle, then you already know this was not a script. It was a rescue. And just as heaven used this message to speak peace over your name, it can do the same for thousands more. Every time you sow into this work, through super thanks, membership, or even a gift through the PayPal link below, you're planting seeds of spiritual rescue in someone else's life. God says in Isaiah 60:22, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And your support helps make that happen for others. This is not just support. It's spiritual obedience. It's kingdom partnership. Your gift becomes oil on the message, fire on the altar, and light in someone's darkest hour. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for another sign. Give now, and let God multiply it.